Hi there! After creating my vertical hydroponic throw tower that is passive, that use a PVC pipe, I'm still testing that one, but I find that it's a bit too hard for other people to do it, as it involves a lot of difficult parts, drilling many holes and passing ducts within the pipe. So I created another version, the bucket version. I hope you can follow this video to create a bucket version for yourself. Then you can experience how the passive vertical growth tower will work and whether it will give even better results than the active ones. So one of the material you need to use is this 32 millimeter 45-degree joint. So we'll use it as the plant insert pipe, but this part is a bit too wide, too long, so if we just plug it in like that, the root will be bending. So what we need to do is cut it in half and get rid of this excess part. So the root, when the root is inserted, you can insert right into the tank. If you don't cut it, the root will be horizontal. Okay, so do the cutting will be better. The other way is to drill 4 25 millimeter holes. So you can put in this 25 millimeter PVC pipe, then insert another 20 millimeter PVC pipe inside, so you can slide them in and out and adjust the distance between the grow light and your plants. First, we need to mark where we want to drill holes for the plant insert pipes. Depending on how big the roots of your plant is going to be, you can take a measurement of around 140 millimeter above the bottom of the tank and mark that to drill the holes. To help us mark it evenly, we can use a tape measure. Just tape the tape measure around the peripherance of the bucket or at around the same height. I'm using 140 millimeter. Then you need to decide how many holes you want around the bucket. In this example, I drew 9 holes, but I think you may want to start with 6 or even 4 holes depending on how big your plants will be. Then you can divide the perimeter by the number of holes. For example, I have 810 millimeter perimeter. So dividing that by 9 holes will get me around 90 millimeter per hole. So I'll just go to the tape measure at that point, starting with 90 and then 180 and so on, to punch in the marker for my holes. Then you need to find a drill pitch the same size as the outer diameter of your plant insert pipe. Mine is 38 millimeter. One of the tips in drilling this type of soft rubber bucket is to drill in the anti-clockwise, that means the reverse direction. It will give you a smoother cut. Then you can put the 32 mm plant insert pipe inside and see if it's tight. If it's tight enough, you won't even need a glue. So that's how it looks when you finish drilling and inserting the 32 millimeter pipe. And this pipe is enough to put in this 32 millimeter plant insert pipe. Or if you don't want to use this, you can use the cotton directly. Just put in the cotton directly. Okay, so the inside like this, the roots will come out from here. So if you got this, it will be like that. The root will come out from there. And we don't need to use glue or anything because it's very tough. very hard to remove. So you just push it in. The rubber from the bucket will secure this in place. It's very tough. You don't need to have glues. So it's very easy to fix this one. No glues required. All push in, very easy. Okay, just make sure you adjust the angle so this is pointing straight up. Okay. Next, we'll need to find a place to drill the maintenance door. We need 2 maintenance doors because we have 2 hands. Some operation need 2 hands to insert into the tank. So we find a space where we've got a little bit more space. So maybe here and here, here and here. So we can drill this and keep this door and then put it back in. And let's make a hole here and mark it here. Okay, so this is the first hole, and then second one. I think first one. Let's drill the first hole first. Let's see how big it is before we drill the other one. So we completed the drilling. Make sure you keep this small piece because we'll be making a door later on using this to cover this hole, because otherwise the algae will be populating inside when light gets in. So we need to make sure we seal it with this lid or some cloths. If you have some black cloths, you can put in the back cloths so you can push the hand in like that. So now we have 2 doors and 2 holes. Okay, so when we work on this, we can get both our hands in to work on this. It's like some of the biochemical labs. Put your hand in and do something. So we are going to use this cable tie to build a hinge for the maintenance door. So first we need to drill some holes. 2 here, 2 here, and then 1 here. Let's drill the 2 holes here first. Okay. 1. 2. And then we can mark in roughly the same location. We drill another 2 holes. So roughly here, let's mark it here, 1 hole, and then here, 2nd hole. Right. Let's drill it here. First hole, 2nd hole. Okay, and then for us to pull it, we need to have another hole here too. Here. Okay. So we can put this in. Like this. We'll make a handle. Okay, so it will be a good handle. Small enough. Okay, and then we can chop off the other end. that. Then we can tie this into the bucket. So I think better this way. Okay. Then one more. So that's it. That's the maintenance door. And we can chop this off afterwards. The last step is to drill a hole in the middle of the tank to put this standpipe in. Standpipe is used to pass the electricity cable down to the bottom tank for the glow lights, and also to pass the central duct that feeds from the top tank, which is the nutrient reservoir. So, but it is optional. If you don't want to do it, you don't want to drill a hole inside, you can just pass the duct outside from here. You can insert the duct here, but it's a bit ugly because it will be all hanging from the outside. So you can just buy this stuff. You twist it open. It's in two pieces. One piece is so one piece is like this, the other piece is like this. You have two fillets, and just put one outside at the bottom of the tank, one at the bottom of the tank like this, and this other one in the inside. Then it will apply the pressure through the screws to make sure there's no water leak. When the plant is at its infancy, you may want to insert another pipe to the standpipe like this one, so that you can put in more nutrient at the level that is touching the roots. As the plant grows bigger, the roots go longer, you can remove this central pipe and then put in the flow valve. The flow valve will ensure the water level is kept at 1 inch and is fed from the central nutrient tank at the top of the hose deck. Okay, so this is done. And we put in one more cable tie to block the door from getting inside. So now we can do the maintenance and then shut down this maintenance door. All right. So we use this type of cable tie to tie the cover, and this is a hatch for the door. So we have two. one here, one here. After we turn around, we cut it, and then we can now just squeeze in this 32 mm hole. This is actually not a 32 mm hole. Let me measure it. Okay, so this is diameter is actually 38.4, and then this hole is around 37, so it's a bit smaller. That's fine. We just squeeze it in, so we don't need to use screw. Oh, okay. And when you finish screwing in, just push at the bottom a bit, so the angle of this will be 45 degrees. Push it hard a bit. Okay, so this is very firm, no need to apply glue. So it's very easy to make. And then for the door, I find a better way to mount the door. So I basically have this type of cable tie. And then I drill 4 holes, 2 in the door, 2 in the bucket, and then put a wire in like that. Go through here, come out from here, go in again and come out again. I find this way the door will have a force to push in, so it won't hurt the plant. If we turn it outside, then it will hurt the plants. So we can push it in, put our hand in to do maintenance. There are 2 doors, another one the same way, so we can put our hand in to do the maintenance. When we finish, we can return the door to the original shape, and there's a latch here. We just secure it in place. The important thing is for the door to block the light, so there will not be algae growing inside your tank, because it will be full of nutrients. When your nutrient hit the sunlight, the algae will start growing. Okay, so that's why we use a black bucket to avoid the sunlight. So there is a total of 9 plant insert pipe that you can insert. You can insert a 32 millimeter net cup like that, or you can simply use a cotton. So this is a 32 mm standpipe, those you use in the fish tank. But there's a problem, because it's supposed to be used with thick glass, and our bucket is very thin, so even though I turn it all the way in, there's still a big gap, so you can't seal the water like this. So there are 2 methods to fix this. Number 1 is buy 2 more of this silicone this washer, so we can fill in the gap. The other method is to cut this part shorter, so you can fasten it more. So I just take out two turns of the threads. Squeeze it in now. Okay, now it's very tight, enough to seal the water. Okay. Now we need to create a hole at the bottom of the tank to install the standpipe. Need a 32 mm hole. Because we need to make sure this surface is sharp enough. Otherwise the washer cannot function. There should be no hair left behind. That will cause a water leak here. And then you can push it in like this. Do the other side and squeeze this fasten this screw. So the taller stand is inside the tank, the shorter one is at the bottom. So next we need to drill a hole on the cover so that this extruder part will be able to push into the next tank and stack up, because right now it's a gap because this one is protruding to the bottom. So we need to drill a hole here big enough, and we find this drill pit that is big enough. So you see the cut will be much cleaner if you reverse the drill direction. Next, we need to push this cover to the pipe here so it can be like faster. Okay, now you got it. So it will be like faster. Okay, once it's fastened, make it easier to stack it up like this. To drill a hole for this central pipe. This pipe is around 11 mm, so this drill pit is about 10 mm, just smaller than the rubber. We want to use the elasticity of the rubber to seal the hole without using glue. So you must choose a drill bit that is at least 1 mm smaller than the rubber duct. Okay, so let's start. Okay, I think we'll drill somewhere around here. Okay, done. Okay, so there's a hole there. Let's try push this in. Not this one. This one. Got it. Let's see. Next, we need to drill a similar hole at the cover here so the duct can pass through. Okay. Okay. That's it. Okay. So there you are. And then we can assemble the duct one by one. Okay, pass this cable here. Nice. And then the last one. In order to connect this big pipe to the small pipe, we better have this miniature hose. Test it out, choose the one that is not leaking. A lot of this type of hose is leaking because the plastic here doesn't, it's not smooth enough to seal the gates. So try a few of these to find one that is not leaking. When it's leaking, usually water will come out from this screw here, so it's not good if it's leaking. Okay, suppose you find one that is not leaking, and then the second thing we need to do is to cut a tiny little ditch around the tip of here. So you can cut it in two ways. The first way is to use a cutter, but don't cut it so deep. Let's cut small bits. The idea is to cut a small ditch so it will lock itself into the rubber pipe. In case you cut too deep, it's okay, just remove it and try to cut again. Yeah, just cut it around 1 millimeter, 1 or 2 millimeter from the tip, The other better method is to use a file. Use a small file like this and file at around 2 mm or 3 mm from the tip. So you file a ditch out of it. Turn around 360 degrees, keep on filing. And after a while you see a ditch. Then it should be fine. The idea is to lock it in the central pipe so the rubber will squeeze into that ditch. So this hose will not come out when we insert it in. Otherwise it will come out very quickly whenever you pull it, which is not good. Okay. The third way to do it is use a lighter, heat up a nail, and then just pass it around. So it will create a ditch in the same way. Okay, so I think I did one already. Nice. So let's use this as a test. Right? Try to insert it. So first thing is to drill a hole at the end, at the point where you need to insert it, assuming that this is the central pipe. So the hole need to be, we can't use the drill because the drill will damage the material. We just need to enlarge a hole, make a hole large enough. You can do it, point it this way and point it that way without cutting through the other side. Once you're comfortable, this is big enough, you can use other tools like a plastic tube, plastic stick, to stick it in to try to make it bigger, and then afterwards you can try to push this one in. Okay, should be able to push it in. Okay, you see it's been pushed in. See, half of the stuff is inside, and it's hard to pull it out because the ditch lock with the wall of the main pipe. So this will be nice. Okay. So next step is to take out the central pipe, like what we and then use at the right place, use the sharp needle to punch a hole just to the inside. Right? Don't punch through the other side, otherwise there will be leakage. Just punch within the inside, push it up and push it down, but not pierce through the other side. And then we will use this type of mini nozzle that is used for the air pump of the fish tank. We need to cut a small ditch, just 0.2 mm into it, so you can create a small notch that when we push this in, it will not come out. So let's try to push it in. Okay, see, it will not easily come out. So it will fix in position, and the rubber tension will seal the water. There will be no leakage. I find this a very easy way. Instead of using a T-joint, using a T-joint may be occupy a lot more space and you need to buy extra stuff. So this way should be fine. And then we have this flow valve. Look at my blog and my video to see how to clean one or make one using a plastic drinking bottle. And then you use a long enough thin duct. This is a 6 mm duct. The central one is 11 mm. So just push it in, make sure it's secure and not falling out. Then you can put it inside. So you may want to secure it in place using some thread inside the tank. Otherwise, use some heavy weights to put it in place. Make sure the flow valve is stable and not turning around. Okay, let me give you an inside view of the flow valve. So this is the flow valve from the inside. The duct connecting to this mini hose connecting to this central pipe. So repeat this for every tank and then you'll be able to test. So we need to insert this 32 mm PVC pipe at the top tank, because the nutrient tank we need to put more liquid, put more nutrient on top. So we need the standpipe there so the water won't flow down. It can hold more water. We need to use this silicone tape to make sure there's no leakage. And we can just squeeze in. You can just squeeze this in like this. Okay, that's it. So you see the water level can be rise up to here, and then we can pass the electricity cable to the glow light. The glow light will be mounted around here. Pour some water to do a test. Okay. So some of the water may be during feeding down to the glow valve. Let's take a look inside. So water is coming out. This one too. So let's take a look inside the tank. The water level is around 1 inch, stabilized by the flow valve. Let's look at the other one. It's optional. If you want the bucket to be standing firmly, not shaking or have chances of falling down, and optionally you can use this 32 mm PVC pipe to cut it in the right length so you can connect the standpipe from the top tank with the bottom tank, and you continue to connect it this way, so the whole stack of buckets will be secured by these sections of PVC pipes. But this one is optional. If you do take this approach, you may need to drill some holes at each section of the PVC pipe so the central pipe can come out, because you need to tap the central pipe. You need to drill a hole so you can do the tapping at that point. It's a bit more tricky, but it will make your tank more stable, and your tank will not easily fall down. So the last step is to insert the plant. So you make sure your plant's root is long enough to hang into the bucket and touches the bottom of the tank. Otherwise, you'll not be able to get any nutrient. So after you push the plant in, make sure you check the water level each day in case the flow valve is stuck or that you're running out of nutrient. Otherwise, you don't need to refill the nutrient. It will be refilled automatically through the nutrient tank at the top. So that's all I have for today. Thanks a lot for watching. If you like my video, click like, subscribe, and send to your friends to watch too.